Welcome to all the viewers of YouTube. Today's story is going to be very frightening, so turn off the lights. This is a terrifying experience. The incident is related to an old house in Nazimabad, Karachi, an incident that completely changed the life of Fahad and his family forever. So let us begin this story. This story was sent by Fahad from Karachi. According to him, it was the most horrifying experience of his life. The house was in Nazimabad, in an old neighborhood located at the very end of a narrow street. This neighborhood was part of an old settlement where the walls and doors of houses had weakened with the passage of time. Fahad's house too was once new and beautiful, but with time it lost its charm. The walls had become worn out, and inside the house there was a strange silence and emptiness. The outside world was busy in its own affairs, but the atmosphere inside the house told a different story. There were 4 members living in the house: Fahad, his father, his mother, and his younger sister Sarah. Fahad's father, Mr. Iqbal, was a government employee who spent his entire day at the office and returned home in the evening to rest. He was a serious and hardworking man, always occupied with his responsibilities. Most of his time was spent dealing with files and office work. Fahad's mother, Mrs. Farah, was a patient and kind-hearted woman who took care of all the household chores on her own. She often recited prayers and remained busy maintaining the house. Fahad's younger sister, Sarah, was 5 years younger than him. She was intelligent and sensible. She studied in the 9th grade and was always focused on her studies. Sarah was always busy with her studies. She preferred to stay alone in her room most of the time, but she loved Fahad dearly. The house was double-storied. Downstairs there was a large hall, the parents' bedroom, and the kitchen. Upstairs were the rooms of Fahad and Sarah. Apart from these, there was also one empty room on the upper floor, which always remained locked. Fahad's father never allowed anyone to enter that room and would always say that it should stay closed. During childhood, Fahad and Sarah didn't pay much attention to this matter. But as they grew older, the mystery of that locked room began to raise curiosity in their minds. The rest of the house seemed normal, but the wooden staircase would sometimes creak at night on its own, even when no one was around. The neighborhood was part of an old settlement where mostly elderly people lived. Fahad's family did not interact much with the neighbors and spent most of their time inside the house. There were also some empty plots in the area which remained eerily silent at night. Fahad's mother used to say that when they first moved into this house, the place was lively and full of people. But as time passed, families started leaving and the neighborhood slowly turned deserted. Now the situation was such that even stepping outside at night felt terrifying. One cold November night, when Fahad's father had traveled out of the city for work, only Fahad and Sarah were at home. Around midnight, Fahad was studying in his room when he suddenly heard faint noises from outside, as if someone was walking. At first, he thought it was just his imagination, but the sounds grew louder. Fahad opened the door to check, but no one was there. From the staircase, too, strange creaking noises were echoing. Fahad immediately called out to Sarah. Fahad called out to Sarah, but there was no reply. When he went to her room, he saw Sarah sitting on the bed, but her condition was unusual. Her eyes were open, yet she seemed lost in another world. Her face had turned pale, and she was staring fixedly at one spot where nothing was present. Fahad called her name again, but she did not respond. When he tried to shake her, her body felt heavy and stiff, as if some strange force had taken hold of her. Suddenly, a cold gust of wind rushed into the room, even though all the windows were tightly shut. Fahad quickly lifted Sarah and carried her downstairs into the hall, laying her on the sofa. But her condition remained the same. Her eyes were frozen with fear. Without wasting a moment, Fahad called his mother, who immediately contacted the local imam, Malvi Sahib. Within 15 minutes, he arrived at their house. The moment he saw Sarah, he began reciting prayers. During the recitation, Sarah's eyes moved slightly, but she stayed silent. Malvi Sahib then said that this was no ordinary matter but the effect of an evil presence. He asked Fahad's father to return home at once. He continued reciting throughout the house. When he reached the upper floor and pointed towards the locked room, Fahad's father explained that it had been sealed for many years. But Malvi Sahib insisted that it must be opened. After some hesitation, Fahad's father took out the key and unlocked the door. As soon as the door opened, A strange foul smell spread out. The room was empty except for some old wooden trunks and a cradle lying in the corner. The atmosphere inside was unbearably heavy, as if something unseen was present there. Maulvi Sahib began his recitation louder and declared that this room...
Maulvi Sahib said that the room was under the influence of something impure. He instructed the family to cleanse it and recite prayers there every day. As the recitation continued, the atmosphere of the room began to change and a strange faint light spread across it. In the next few days, the room was cleaned and prayers were recited daily as advised. Sarah's condition gradually improved, but she never spoke about that night. Perhaps she did not want to remember it. Even after the incident, strange noises could still be heard in the house. Eventually, the family decided that leaving the house was the only solution. They moved away from the old house in Nazmabad. But even today, whenever Fahad thinks about that house, the same fear awakens in his heart. That house, its walls, and the horrifying forces hidden within it might still be there. This incident remained an unforgettable and terrifying chapter of his life.